Don't mind me. I'm just gonna sit here and drop stuff. So it is Saturday morning, about 8 o'clock. I just got up. I had I don't know if I have told y'all, but my work schedule changed in that I work at two different places now. Same amount of hours, two different places, but it's two different atmospheres, two different run volumes, and it's kind of taken a toll on me trying to get used to it. So I had gotten off work yesterday morning, and my best friend's daughter was having a baby. Yes, she was going to shoot a tiny human out of her vagina, and I was going to go, and I was going to buy cake. Actually, my plan was to get like an entire cake and have them write Team Vagina on it, because why not? So, but I was going to run to the Inez, the other place where I work, and pick up my check. Well, you know how on vehicles, well, on my vehicle, when your brakes are starting to go a little bit, you have a little sensor that starts squealing to kind of let you know. Well, I don't know if Mahalia's old, and I mean, I'm not talking bad about her, and she is downstairs, so she can't hear me. Um, I didn't get no squeakings to let me know that anything was awry. So as I was on my way to the Inez yesterday, I noticed, that kind of rumbling noise that your brakes will make, and I thought, okay, well, it's wet, it's raining, that's the issue. So when I get to the Inez and I pull into the parking lot of the workplace, we're talking full on grind of the brakes. And I was like, okay, that's probably not good. So then I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I should just check the brake fluid. So after I went to the bank, I stopped and I checked it, and I thought, well, yeah, it does look a little bit low. So I put some brake fluid in it, and I thought, well, that'll fix it. It'll be fine. It didn't fix it, and it wasn't fun, and the grinding kept getting progressively worse. So I did not feel safe driving to Huntington. I think it would have been fine in terms of safety, but if you keep driving your car when your brakes is all getting wonky, my tablet is dying. Everything I have, it needs charged. Maybe it's my phone. I don't know. But if you keep driving your car with your brakes going bad, then it ruins the calipers, it ruins the rotors, and then you're taking like $140 problem at the garage and turning it into a much more expensive problem. If I was one of them people that knew how to actually fix the brakes, fixing them is not that cheap if you do it yourself. But if you don't know how to do it yourself, then you're at the mercy of whoever. But I have a mechanic guy in Knott County where I work, and I trust him. I trust him so good. He has been so wonderful to me. And so I've got to figure out how to negotiate this, because I don't go back there until Wednesday, and I don't think he's open today. So I can't just drive over to Knott County and be like, hey, buddy. So, yeah. But I hate that I missed the birthing of the baby, and I kind of feel like a jerk about that. So if you guys are watching, I do love you, and while not there with you physically, I was there in spirit. I'll tell you what I ended up doing instead. I went to the Piggly Wiggly, and I came home, and it was, I don't know, 2, 3. I had a little bite to eat, and then I went to bed. And I'm just now getting up. So I slept for a lot of hours. But I have just been really, really tired. I almost hate to admit this because people may or may not yell at me. I have not taken my medicine in probably 4 days. 4 days, just because we've been busy and I forget and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to make a very good old person. How the old people have to take their meds. I'm not going to be good at that. So I am going to take everything today. This apartment still looks like Hurricane Bertha went through it. I just feel like I need a timeout. I need a breather. Speaking of breathing, air fresheners. First of all, I know, don't judge my nails. I haven't even had time to do that. Quite possibly, let's see. These don't look as bad. Now, this fragrance of incense, which I didn't even know that that's what this fragrance was. I just knew that when I opened the bottle and sniffed it, I said, ooh, it smells familiar to me. It smells really good. And it's guaranteed to, like, one spray, they say, will last like 2 or 3 days. I don't know, something. But anyway, when I got in the vehicle and got to looking at the thing, that is the same incense that I burn in my house. You can see that right there. So it's divine. It is like super divine. Quite lovely. I'm a fan, so I think you should obtain some. I found it at the Apple Market in Hazard at the foot of the hill, Hospital Hill. Now, the second, I did not know this was a real thing. I kind of had an idea that this was a real thing, but I kind of didn't. Like, you see the little things for it on the interwebs, the little commercials, people being funny. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And the Working Man store on 80 sells it. And there's 2 different kinds. This one is like a lemon burst of joy. And you just spray it in the toilet before you drop the kids off at the pool. And you can't tell that you dropped the kids off at the pool. It's insane. It's crazy. So get some. All right. I think that's all I had in terms of stuff. Choke all these things down. I don't think I'm going to take 2 of those at one time. Those iron pills are a booger. And when I say booger, I mean booger. Maybe it's not so much that I forget to take the pills. I hate to take the pills. And that could be part of it. Why can't they make pills taste like candy? Why can't they make pills just taste like M&Ms? Then I'd have to worry about overdosing because I'd be wanting to eat them all the time. And it's not that I take anything like horrid. I mean, I take an iron pill and a water pill and my Make Me Love Humanity pill and my old lady crippled arthritis pill. And my I don't want to be bloated and look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man pill. You know, that kind of stuff. And I need to blow my nose. And I know that it's rude, but I don't want to sit here and sniffle for the rest of this video, so bear with. And it's not like you all don't blow your noses, so, I mean, perhaps you don't do them on videos, but... All right. Okay, so... Here's the thing. I'm not a scholar. I am not a firearms expert. I'm nothing. Okay? I am nothing. Just a regular garden variety citizen person. But I'm telling you something, y'all. All this stuff that is going on with the shootings and the... It's insanity, is what it is. And we hear and read all these hashtags. You know, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, all lives matter. Life matters. Life matters. Because here's the thing. You know what we're missing? I'm going to let you know. We're missing Jesus, honey. We're missing God. And I know that some of you all don't believe in that, and that's cool. That's your thing. Do what you must. I'm not going to judge you for it. my opinion, we need Jesus. Because here's the thing, at the end of our walk, at the end of our life, when we get up there, it ain't gonna matter who was a cop. It ain't gonna matter who was white, who was black, who was green, who was purple, who carried a gun, who did this, who did that. All that is gonna matter, honey, is that you was washed in the blood of the Lamb. That is it. That's it. But we're a society that has turned its back. It's turned its back. And look where it's got us. We live in a society where nobody respects authority. Nobody respects each other. Nobody respects anything. We live in a society where people call the president an N-word. I'm not saying you gotta like him. I'm not saying you gotta agree with his politics. But why you gotta call out his color? Why does his color have to be an issue to you? I don't understand. We live in a and the thing of it is, I'm a white lady. I'm a white lady, and you know what? I work directly with law enforcement, day in, day out. Some of the best people you'd ever want to meet. Men, women, hands down some of the best. And they've saved my bacon on more than one occasion. But you know what? Having said that, they're not a representation of all law enforcement in this country. They're not. Some of them are jerks. Some of them don't need to be carrying that badge. Some of them need to be locked away because they abuse their power. They don't like black people. They don't follow protocol. True. It's all true. Some black people and some white. Hey, here's the thing. When we want to talk about crime and we want to talk about this, that, and the other, you know, we say black people because that seems to be the focus. You know, white people get shot too. White people act stupid too. But we don't hear about that as much. We don't hear about that. We hear about the black ones. And it is an outrage. Because here's what happens. Black people become so afraid. And wouldn't you be? Honey, I said yesterday, if I was black, child, honey, I'd be scared to breathe. I would be afraid to walk down the street. I would be afraid anytime I got pulled over, knowing daggone good and well that I hadn't done nothing. I'd be scared to death of who it was pulling me over. I'd be sitting there like this. What? What you want? Sir, please, thank you. You're welcome. Excuse me, Mother, may I? You know what? And why should people have to live that way? Why? But the cops are afraid because of the stuff that went down just the other day. Well, we're going to shoot all of them. So everybody is living with some kind of fear, and everybody is having these knee-jerk reactions. It's almost like a kill or be killed kind of scenario because one doesn't know what the other one's going to do. Does it make sense? Not all black people are thugs. Not all white people are thugs. Not all black people are good people. Not all white people are good people. Not all cops are good people. Not all cops are bad people. I think, like I said, the common element that we're missing in society is Jesus, the presence of God, and the presence of love and acceptance and tolerance and forgiveness and critical thinking, and where everybody is just, it's like a powder keg. It reminds you of a powder keg. And then it turns into, when things like this happen, then it turns into, well, how can we make so-and-so look bad? How can we sort of justify this? You know, the one little fella that was selling the CDs, I watched that video. And here's the thing, I understand, you know, being a police, I mean, I'm a civil servant. I understand that when I go into a house to take care of somebody, if they got a gun, honey, you won't see this big girl run, okay? You won't see a big girl flying through the window if she has to. You know, there is a certain element of fear. I get it. I dig it. I understand it. But watching that, they had that boy on the ground, honey. Had him on the ground, and he was struggling. He was resisting. I think that's a human. I think when you're getting into that position and someone's laying on top of you, and how many of these stories have we seen where these cops get on top of these people and lay on them, and then they die because they can't breathe. So the person that's being laid on, I'm sure, is quite paranoid that you're going to suffocate the life out of me, literally. So he's struggling. But they're laying on top of him. You know what I'm saying? And then somebody hollers gun, and then boom, here come the bullets. I understand being in fear for your life, and I can understand, well, if it's going to be him or me, it's going to be him. But here's the thing, y'all. You holler gun, well, you're already laying on top of him. You already see where his hands are. You know what I'm saying? Pepper spray him. Spray his face. Tase him. Why the gun has to, to me, a gun should be absolute 100% last resort. Unless they're sitting right at you with the gun pointed in your face. Now, if that's the deal, honey, then we're gonna draw down. We're gonna have a party here. But you got somebody on the ground, and you got them. And, like I said, what does it end up sparking? What ends up happening? The mess that happened in Dallas. And like I said, at the end of the times, and at the end of the world, and at the end of our lives, when it comes time for us to have our judgment, and it's not going to matter what color we were. It's not going to matter. We live in a time where, and people don't want to admit it. People don't want to admit it, but it's true. People are racist. You can't tell me they're not. There's cops that are racist. You can't tell me that they're not. You just can't. You would think that in 2016 we would have evolved to something a little better than this. We've advanced technologically. We've advanced medically. There have been, things created and progress made that just, it boggles the mind. But as a society, we've reverted. As a society, dare I say that on some levels, we're almost barbaric. Barbaric. Who does the things that are being done? And a lot of it is out of fear. It's fear, plain and simple. And a lot of it, and I can't say it enough, and you don't have to agree with me because this is 100% my opinion. If you don't like it, there's a little button that says off. You don't have to sit here and watch. You don't have to agree. And I'll keep saying this. We need Jesus. We need prayer. We need reverence. We need peace. Life matters, y'all. It ain't about who's black. It ain't about who's white. It ain't about who's a cop. Life matters. That's what the good Lord says. Do you think the good Lord looks down here and says, okay, well, let's see, who's black, who's white, who's the cop? Do you think he cares? Do you think that matters to him? Because it doesn't. Doesn't matter. What matters is what's in here. That's what matters. It ain't about a hashtag. It ain't about a life. Matters. Jesus matters. If more people had Jesus in their hearts, then they wouldn't be so quick to pick up guns and shoot and kill and do this, that, and the other. When's the last time, if you're a churchgoer, when is the last time that you went to church and you saw old Betty Johnson rolled up in the joint with her Glock fixing to cap somebody because she didn't get her Tupperware back after the last potluck? Okay? You done took my potato salad, Sister Eloise. So you know what, girlfriend? Retribution coming. Yeah, church people don't do that. Religious people don't do that. Pray. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. They want to talk about the guns, and people want to get all bunged up and all up in arms about the guns and about this and about that. Here's the deal. If you are a responsible, lawful gun owner, you ain't got nothing to worry about, honey. Go on about your business. Clean your gun. Go to the range. Do what you must. Because when they talk about reform, they're not talking about you. They ain't targeting you. They targeting these crazy fools. They targeting people that don't need the guns. You know, from concept to execution, the idea falters a little bit. And I'm going to tell you why. I could go right now, right at 8:20 in the morning, I could go down here to the swap meet and have my pick. I could buy whatever gun I want to buy. No questions asked. They ain't going to ask me if I'm crazy. They ain't going to ask me who I'm going to shoot with it. They're going to say, that'll be $500, please. Go on about your bit. Would you like some bullets? That's what they're going to say. So here's the thing. We can talk about reform. We can talk about background checks. We can talk about stricter, parameters within. That is great. But here's the deal. If a person wants a gun, they're going to get a gun. They're going to get a gun. I'm all for reform. For it, 100%. I'm also for the right to carry a gun. Absolutely. What I have noticed a lot is that people, we live in this, and it infuriates me. I can't really speak for anyone else, but it's this whole mentality of America, because it seems to me, and this, my opinion, but it seems to me that people that subscribe to that theory have absolutely no interest in research, reading, knowing what they're talking about. They hear a topic, they hear a subject, and then boom, off they go. Off they go. They're going to tell you this. They're going to tell you that. Yada. There was an article over at Adjunct Professor in Ohio who is very much pro-gun reform, and he had made a post. I don't know if it was on the Twitter or where he had made it, but it was completely sarcastic. And if you truly read it, you could sort of, okay, well, why would a pacifist make this kind of a post? Number one, first and foremost, a pacifist is not going to make a post talking about how all of us anti-gun people should kind of load up and go blazing up on these other joints. But not even that. A simple name search in the Facebook took you right to his page where he talked about the fact I was being sarcastic. Granted, it may have been a poor choice in light of everything going on, but he was being sarcastic. How many people be posting talking about how he a lunatic and somebody needs to take him out and shoot him and do this and do that, and all these America types are, getting all up in arms, and I'm like, do y'all read? Do y'all know how to read? Because if you knew how to read, or if you had any kind of social sense whatsoever, number one, you would have picked up on the sarcasm. Number two, if you'd read, if you knew how to read, you could have found this cat and discovered that he was being sarcastic. But people don't do that. They don't want to do that, because once they do that, once they read and get the information and get the facts, it takes away a little of the bravado. It takes away a little of the luster from that America, ideal that they stand so firmly upon. And it's infuriating. To me, it is. I just want to say, you know what? Let me just hand out these Hooked on Phonics books for you all. I want you to learn to read. I want you to learn to comprehend. Comprehension is very important in the reading process. And I want you to chill, honey. I want you to take you a Clumpton, take you something, and chill out. All I can do is pray. That's it. That's all I know to do. That is absolutely 100% all I know to do, because it just seems like things are getting worse. Things are getting worse. And it goes back to we're a godless society. And I don't mean that every single person is, obviously, so don't get that twisted. I just mean, as a general observation, we are a godless society. We took them out of schools. We took the prayer out of schools. We want to take it off the money. Any mention of God, honey, no, we can't have that, because somebody might get offended. We don't want to offend nobody. We don't want to offend you. But what ends up happening when you take away And we're not just talking about the theological aspect of it. We're just talking about the simple 100% go to church and pray. That's it. And that's how he was raised. You didn't hear about this kind of stuff happening, you know. And like I've said before, all these advances and things that we have made, you know, I've had actually people say to me, well, yeah, but if we didn't have these advances, you know, look at all that we wouldn't have. You know, at what price? You know, I almost wonder if it's all worth it. You know, when I say things like I'd like to go back to a time where it was simpler and people weren't so apt to want to kill one another, where people respected authority, where people respected law enforcement, where people respected one another, where people respected God and they respected the idea of spirituality, and they just don't anymore. They don't. And where does it end? Where does it stop? You'll drive yourself crazy trying to assess it and to try to understand it. Sometimes I think there's just things in this life that we're not meant to understand, and that all we can do and all that we're left with is to pray about it. So I do. Today I pray. I pray for society. I pray for peace. I pray for the families left behind of these officers, of these people who lost their lives unnecessarily, because life matters. Mine don't matter more than yours. Yours don't matter more than mine. The concept, life, is what matters. And we've gotten so far away from that. And what I think people fail to realize, when they do their little hashtags with the White Lives Matter and the Black Lives Matter, all they're doing is creating that gap. I mean, the gap's already there. They're making it wider. You know what? The polarization becomes more, when instead of bringing folks together, we're dividing them even more by saying, well, Black Lives Matter. Well, no, they don't. White Lives Matter. You see what I'm saying? Instead of bringing ourselves closer, we're dividing ourselves. Life matters. That's all I have for today. And you know what? It probably didn't make sense. It made really great sense in my head, and I kind of, went over it a little bit before I even made this, but I've not been up for very long, so I'm not sure how much I can be judged for, because I'm not 100% completely awake. But I knew that if I did not sit down and go ahead and make this now, that I would probably get caught up in something, or I'd fall asleep, and I'd never say anything. So there it is. Again, you don't have to agree with me. You don't, and that's fine. I'm mad at you, so, but I hope that you would join me, my brothers and sisters, in praying for change, in praying for understanding, because it's not to be found here. It's not to be found here. So you all take care. I love each and every single one of you. Little Esmeralda, I cannot wait to see your little bundle of joy, and I will be bringing you some cake. You may not want the cake by the time I get it to you, but I will bring you some cake. I'd like to make you a cake with some of the tricks and tips that I saw on this Pinterest thing, and how to make a boxed cake taste like it come from a bakery. They said instead of regular water, use hot water. Hot water. They said instead of 3 eggs, use 5. They said instead of Earl, use butter. They did. So apparently you do all that, and honey, it's going to taste like I don't know what. So I'd like to try it and see. I made that cake for my birthday last week. I ate like 3 bites. It's still sitting here. I'm trying to be good. But I feel really fat today. It's a fat day. It's a just Fatty McFatterson, fat kind of day. And that's all right. So, but anyway, I love y'all. Be kind. God, I can't say that enough. I can't say it enough. Be kind. It's not hard. I promise you, it is not hard to be nice. It's not. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, y'all, except prayer. So be kind to one another. Be nice to one another. Pray for each other. Pray for each other. Pray for yourself. Pray for your family. Pray for somebody else's family. That's the only way we'll get through this. That's my honest, 100% honest opinion. And people can laugh at that. I don't care. I mean, 60 milligrams of Prozac, I don't care. Yeah, so. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get this house clean today. I'm not putting no expectations up that I can't meet, but I will try. So, and I have no clue how many minutes we've gone on this. Apparently, you can film straight up live from the YouTube, but there's this whole laundry list of things you got to do first, and talk about how you got to put this encoder and you got to download it, and you got. I just want to hit the button. Just want to hit the button. Go. Hit the button and go. That's it. Why do I got to download this and do that and yada, yada, yada and blah, blah, blah. So I'll have to figure that out at a time when I am more awake. I'm not awake enough for all that right now. I'm just not. So thank you for listening to all this rambling. And like I said, it may or may not have made sense. I don't know. I don't know. But there it is. You guys take care. And I'll see you later.